I would like to start with a quote from Ramana Maharshi, an Indian sage. And he says that so much misery is the result of imposed limitations we put on ourselves. It's as if we erect a barrier to the door of our home and require ourselves to jump over it every day to get inside a place that is already ours. All unhappiness is due to forgetting that we put the obstruction there ourselves and can remove it at any time. Your happiness is always with you. Your bliss is always there. It cannot be anywhere else. Bliss and the self are one and always with you. One day, perhaps this moment now, you realize that what you're searching for is what is searching. There is always nowhere to go. You are already home. You are always already home. So, besides this being a powerful, inspirational idea, when I hear that, I just know that it's true. It's interesting how much time we spend trying to go home, trying to find home, trying to come home to ourselves. These are all metaphors, but it's a very different game or proposition if we're always already home, rather than it being the destination that we're trying to get to. The problem is we just don't notice. We are always home, but boy, do we think we're so far away from that most of the time. But occasionally, if we get it right, that perfect day when we get up and our meditation goes really well, and our conversations are great, and our circumstances are great, and the stars align, we relax into it. And it's an interesting notion that the only thing between us and the experience of being at home is looking within. It's going back before thought, before the creation of everything that makes it look like there's something to do to get to where we already are. And there's something we need to be who we already are. And then we can come home. When we look to the formless, the not yet created, the nothing that everything comes from, we find it's filled with knowledge and love and beauty. It's in a good feeling because that's its nature. It's our innate nature. It knows the very nature of our being. It isn't dependent upon what's happened or what predictions we might make. It's beyond words. It's been said that silence is God's first language. In any moment, if we are already home, then we can say it's a journey without distance, as is said in A Course in Miracles. And practically we can say it's a one-step journey. And the steps sometimes can be as simple as closing our eyes and opening them. Or I've said to clients, it could be simple as taking one step out of the chaos to the left, back into love. And I don't know if you can see behind me, I have these two blue chairs in my living room, and sometimes I literally move from the chair of chaos to the chair of love. So when there's a whole lot of thinking, when there's a whole lot of spinning going on, It can be a matter of having the willingness to hit the pause button, we could say as we would on the washing machine, to allow a settling down so that clarity can again be revealed. It's as if when we shake a snow globe, it can be hard to see what's inside. As it settles down, we can see what's there. We can see more. And just knowing that can make the experience of the chaos very different. And coming back into the present moment, as Louise Hay said, our point of power is in the present moment. It's here we find all manner of the help and inspiration that we're looking for. I'd like to read a passage from a book called Insights, Messages of Hope, Peace, and Love by Jane Tucker. She says, we may think that who we are is determined by our past, but truly the past has nothing to do with our life at this very moment. Right now is fresh. Right now is an opportunity to find everything we've been looking for. If we seek love, it is here within us now. If we seek comfort, it is here within us now. If we seek wisdom to guide us through life, it is also found within. Any thought of the past, any justification for failure or fear or sadness takes us away from our precious inner gift, from the consciousness within that holds the answer to any problem we will ever face. Nothing that has happened to us, no one who has harmed us, nothing we have done can change the fact that right now we are in spiritual presence. We can never be apart from this presence. It is our essence and our breath. We are not separate from anything around us. All life is part of divine creation, and so are we. We don't need to do anything to gain this unity. It is already ours. If we only notice when thoughts of separation arise, they are soon seen for what they are, nothing but illusion. Any thought will fall away unless we hold on to it. I love that. Any thought will fall away unless we hold on to it. I recently heard a woman tell a story about going to a Verizon store because she needed a new phone. And she was dreading it because she isn't savvy with technology, but it could wait no longer. And I get that. I do the same thing. I'd imagine, actually, I know there are a few others of us like that here also. So at first she had a thought that God isn't going to help me with this one, that this would be an exception. God, love, however, doesn't make exceptions. There isn't any place we can be where love is not. So she then decided she was not going to go in on her own. And before she left, she surrendered the whole situation to God, to love, and committed to being fully present. When she surrendered, what she heard was, the Red Sea has parted for you before. What makes you think that won't happen now? It all went beautifully. Everything transferred over properly. She had someone who helped her, who was very patient with her and explained everything. She wasn't anxious at all. And she mentioned that when she looked at the TV that was on in the Verizon store, the movie Mickey Mouse's The Sorcerer's Apprentice was playing, and it was at the part at the end where the sea parts at the end. That's what was playing. So I don't know if you've ever felt that no matter how many times the sea has parted, it could sometimes feel like, not this time. It's like, no, you don't have all the information on this one. I acknowledge when that feeling comes. I don't argue with it. And then as I'm ready and willing and able, become present and go within as if it's the first time. It says in A Course in Miracles that the solution to the problem was created instantaneously at the same moment. That miracles stand in shining silence next to every dream of pain and suffering and guilt. So something that happened years ago when there was fighting going on in Beirut was it was discovered that there was an orphanage in the area where the fighting was going on. And Mother Teresa decided that she was going to go in there and rescue those children. She was able to obtain a ceasefire in an unusually short amount of time, got a truck, went in there. When they got there, both sides, everybody stopped fighting, and they went in there and successfully got all of the children out of the orphanage. And right after they left, unfortunately, the fighting began again. But here we have it, where on one side, there was the fighting, and we could say the illusions and the dream, well, all this, that it was going on, but we could say more that on one side there was the problem, and right there was the solution. On one side, there were the dreams, and on the other side, the illusions, and the other side, the miracles, side by side. And somebody who was there said that everything was magical and miraculous with Mother Teresa. She was a true force of nature. A Course in Miracles is filled with reference to the present. It's filled with I am, isness, now. I am sustained by the love of God. I am as God created me. I am spirit. I am entitled to miracles. I am entrusted with the gifts of God. It doesn't say this happens when we're perfect, when we get everything right. We are built for what is, not for what isn't or what if, and not for future scenarios that we make up and scare ourselves with. One more lesson that alludes to the isness in the Course is, heaven is the decision I must make. It's about deciding in real time. As we know, heaven isn't a place in the sky that we earn a ticket to by being good while we're here in the world of form. It's a state of consciousness that's available through our choosing to recognize it in any given moment, anywhere. I had two of my grandchildren staying with me overnight a few weeks ago, and on the Saturday, I was in the caretaking, cooking, cleaning mode. So on Sunday morning, this principle, heaven is the decision I must make, came to mind. And I decided to spend some heavenly time alone with first my 1-year-old grandson, who woke up first. And I just held him and rocked him. And he didn't take his eyes off me. We were locked into that beautiful gaze of love and purity and connection. When he went in for his nap, I, of course, decided to spend one-on-one to just be with my 5-year-old granddaughter. And we were in my office, and she noticed there's a glass plaque that I have there, and it has 2 roses in it. And there's some writing on it. And it's something that my sister, who passed away 15 years ago, had given to me. So Emma Claire asked me about my sister. And I told her she passed away, and she said, "You know, Mimi, that means she died." And then she asked me to read what was on the plaque, and she loved the roses, and she loved what she heard. And then she looked up at a picture that's hanging on the wall behind us, and it's of a snowy scene from the horse and buggy days. And she spotted a woman with a white hat, and she said to me, "Mimi, that's your sister." And she said, "The rest of it looked like Mary Poppins." She then went on to make up what, to me, and I still stand by this, it was the most beautiful story I've ever heard about those 2 roses. What I experienced with them both was, of course, priceless. I was so happy I slowed down and chose heaven instead of busy. It was as if a whole new world sprang up. It says in the same lesson, the truth cannot be learned, but only recognized. In recognition, its acceptance lies, and as it is accepted, it is known. We're here to perceive and bear witness to heaven, to anchor love in a world that's constantly tempting us to buy into pictures of fear. It's a call to hold the hand of love as we navigate through this world. Heaven is the decision I must make. I make it now. And I will not change my mind because it is the only thing I want, as is quoted in the Course. And this is so that the love that is in everyone's heart can rise up and be woven into this world and everybody's experience.